Hello students, welcome to the English class. Today we will discuss the lesson The Third and the Final Continent by Jhampa Lahiri. Before moving further, let us know about the story. So, the third and final continent has a Desapora theme where it's about migration of the narrator from India to England and finally to America. This short story is about a married Indian student arrives in Cambridge, Massachusetts in 1969 and rents a room from an eccentric 103-year-old woman, Mrs. Croft. Indirectly, this story shows the differences of the American and Indian cultures. Now, let us see the historical theory of the story. Parallels with Lahiri's family history. The story of Third and Final Continent is parallel with Jhampa Lahiri's family history where everyone in the story represents Lahiri's family. Lahiri's family life experiences as a diasporic community was being applied by Lahiri is most of her short stories including this. Means Jhampa Lahiri, the author of this story, has shared her own experience in this story also, as she used to share in all her stories. Like in Lahiri's family and characters, the narrator represented Lahiri's father. So, parallelity, let us see. A Bengali people from India, the narrator and Lahiri's father are both Bengalis person. So, evidence from the text. I lived in London in Finsbury Park in a house occupied entirely by penniless Bengali bachelors like myself. So, this is given in paragraph 3, page 3, paragraph 1, line 4 to 6. And second parallelity, let us see, emigrated from India, Calcutta to England and finally to America, Desapora community. The narrator was emigrated to 3 continents as well as Lahiri's father. They are called as Desapora community, which means the movement of people from any nation or group away from their own country. So, in the text, which proves that it is parallel to the Lahiri's family. So, when he says that I left India in 1964 with certificate, sailed on the SS Roma across the Arabian Sea, the Red Sea and the Mediterranean and finally to England. So, all this is given in page number 3, paragraph 1, line 1 to 4. Then, in the line, I flew first to Calcutta to attend my wedding and a week later to Boston to begin my new job, and this all instructions are given on page number 3, paragraph 3, line 1 and 2. Then the third thing is, which is parallel to Lahiri's family, that is both of them work as a librarian. So this is given in the lesson, in the story. In the morning, I reported to my job at the Devi Library, a big fort-like building by Memorial Drive. This is given on page number 4, paragraph 2, line 14 to 15. Then the fourth parallelity is adaptation to alien country. In other countries, they need to adopt with their culture and way of life. The narrator and Lahiri's father had adapted the 2 continents culture that they went, but never forget about their own culture. So all this is given in I ate cornflakes and milk in the morning and night, bought some bananas for variety, slicing them into the bowl with the edge of my spoon. And then when he says that I read every article and advertisement so that I would grow familiar with things. So this all is quite parallel with the Lahiri's family, Lahiri's own personal life. Then next is narrator's wife Mala and Mrs. Croft represented Lahiri's mother. So let us see the parallelity. So the talented as a housewife, women are expected to do housework such as cleaning, cooking, and many more. Mala was resembled to Lahiri's mother, who's talented in those works. Okay. So let us see the evidence which is being given in the story. I was told that she could cook, knit, embroider, sketch landscapes, and recite poems by Tagore. This all he said about Mala. Then the second parallelity is holds on their culture and wants to maintain their culture although live in other countries. When they says that when they are having the maintaining a culture is really important for Lahiri's mother, Mala and Mrs. Croft as culture represents the identity of the community. So all these proves truth in these lines where the author says, she added that it was also improper for a lady of Helen's station to reveal her age and to wear a dress so high above the ankle. Mrs. Croft. And then, so we drive to Cambridge to visit him or bring him home for a weekend so that he can eat rice with us with his hands and speak in Bengali things we sometime worry he will no longer do after we die. Now let's see another character, that is Helen and narrator's son. Narrator is here Jhumpa Lahiri's father, and represented Jhumpa Lahiri means Helen, and narrator's son that represented Jhumpa Lahiri. So the parallelism is desire to be a modern woman rather than perfect lady. So Helen and Lahiri had the same desire, which was to be modern woman, but for Helen, her mother did not agree of her to be a modern woman, as she was holding tight to her culture of 1800s. As well as Lahiri, she was tangled with the Indian culture that was more decent, for example, in dressing, which wear sari. Then the second one is Indian and Americans. Usually the diaspora community will face the problems in sense of identity. They were American citizens but being isolated by the community due to skin color difference, but they were also not belong to Indian nations as they did not live there. The narrator's son was being predicted that he will have the problem as well as Lahiri. Now let us see from the text, that is, for your information, mother, it's 1969. What would you do if you actually left the house one day and saw a girl in a mini skirt? So all this is given on page 11, paragraph 9 and line 1 and 2. So the history of first astronauts land on the moon in 1969 means it was the advanced time. The period of the story written was during the era of space races between Soviet Union and United States, whereby in 1969 United States succeed to place Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin on the moon. President Nixon then had declared a national holiday for the achievement of the United States on landing a man on the moon. So there is an American flag on the moon. It was the newspaper. Of course, article upon article, the astronauts had landed on the shores of the Sea of Tranquility. I had read traveling farther than anyone in the history of civilization. For few hours, they explored the moon's surface. So, these lines are being explained here. Let us see the gender theory of the lesson. Gender theory says that man's power in making decision. So, the line is, my wife's name was Mala. The marriage had been arranged by my older brother and his wife. So, let us see the explanation of these lines. The power of making decision are usually lies on the hands of the father or eldest brother. This is because men are being assumed as the one who is mature, more rational, and have more experiences in life. In this story, the narrator's marriage with Mala, means with his wife, was being arranged by the narrator's older brother, as he was the leader of the family after their father's death. Then second thing is, man as someone to depend on. So when in the line he says that it was my duty to take care of Mala, to welcome her and protect her. So women are usually dependent on men on certain aspects. In this story, the narrator felt responsible towards his wife Mala and realized that he should protect his wife. Then the next morning, before I left for work, she asked me for a few dollars. I parted them reluctantly, but I knew that this too was now normal. Besides that, Mala also financially depended on the narrator, as she was a wife who did not work, so the narrator was the one who supported her financially also. Now let's see the third gender theory, that is women need men. So here it is said that each of those night, after applying cold cream and braiding her hair, she turned from me and wept. So women are usually seen as someone who needed to be protected. They are being assumed as a soft-hearted, weak and easily weep. So women need a man to protect them. In this story, Mala was seen as a soft-hearted and easily wept person. In the next line, my wife's name was Mala. It was a duty expected of me, as it was expected of every man. So the author is saying that men also know that as a man they have a huge responsibility towards women. In this story, the narrator also realized that women needed to be protected and they will have a huge responsibility towards his wife and as a leader of the family. Then the fourth point is discrimination of women. President Nixon had declared a national holiday to American men and had landed on the moon. So until modern industrialized era, women had been restricted in participating the workforce. Men controlled the economy and consequently the poor socio-economic status of women had also restricted their entry into the workforce. Restrictions on women's access to and participation in the workforce include the wage gap and the glass ceiling, legal and cultural restrictions on access to education and jobs. So in this story, the United States announced that they had successfully landed astronauts on the moon, and they were two men. Men on that time had higher chance to be an astronaut. So that there were no women as an astronaut during that time. So these all are the gender theories explained in this chapter. Now let us see the cultural theory of this lesson. This story implies more than one type of cultures, which are the Indian culture and American culture. This we all know. The narrator, who migrated from India to England, then to America, tried his best to adapt it to the new culture that he learned at those places without forgetting Indian culture itself. Cuisine. The first thing that represents Indian culture in this story is the cuisine. The most remarkable cuisine in the story is the egg curry, which makes the most constant reference to the Indian culture itself. This was stated when he ate that egg curry together with his Bengali friends as he stayed with them. Okay, so this is the explanation of the lines where the author has said that we lived 3 or 4 to a room, shared a single icy toilet and took turns cooking pots of egg curry. Then besides that, it was also stated when the narrator presents her wife Mala food as she reached in England. This shows that curry is symbolic to the Indian culture itself. So, egg curry is the major cuisine. So, this is proved but through these lines. Here, when he says, I had no present for her apart from the egg curry. And then, the house is nice, she said, also the egg curry. Then, other than that, the original cuisine did not being forgotten even they were staying in England. The smell of steamed rice brought the Indians' life into the house. A dish which represents their belonging that Mala cooked for her husband is chicken curry made with fresh garlic and ginger on the stove makes them feel ease to be in somebody's country. So, this all being proved through these lines when the author says, when I came home from work, there was a potato peeler in the kitchen drawer and a tablecloth on the table and kitchen curry made with fresh garlic and ginger on the stove. Now let us talk about the traditions. In addition, Indians tend to eat foods using their bare hands. As we know, eating with bare hands give more pleasure like no spoon or fork does. In this story, their son, who attends Harvard University, also inherited this habit of eating steamed rice with hands. So, all these things is been proved by the lines where author has said that which we ate with our hands on the table covered with newspaper. And in the next line, we ate with our hands another thing I had not yet done in America. Then one more line is, so we drive to Cambridge to visit him and bring him home for a weekend so that he can eat rice with us with his hands. So the author had earlier also said that when we will die, he won't be able to do all this. Okay. Then apart from those cuisine, arranged marriage is one of the culture that still existed in India's society. Normally, it was arranged by the parents of both bride and groom. The groom would not be able to against their parents' will regarding arranged marriage. It worries the parents when their daughter did not marry by the age of 27 as she might be a spinsterhood. The narrator, who was 36 years old, was being arranged to marry a woman who was 27 years old named Mala. As it was planned, the groom's brother and wife, he did not against it as it has become his responsibility as a man. Every now and then, someone in the house moved out to live with a woman whom his family back in Calcutta had determined he was to wed. In 1969 when I was 36 years old, my own marriage was arranged. So here the author has shared his own marriage experience with us, and he says that in every family the parents used to select one lady for the boy to get married. So when the author was of 36 years, so his parents selected a girl named Mala for him. The marriage had been arranged by my elder brother and his wife. So as the author's parents were not alive, therefore his elder brother and his wife had selected the lady, means Mala, for the author's wedding. I regarded the proposition with neither objection nor enthusiasm. It was a duty expected of me as it was expected of every man. She was 27, an age when her parents had begun to fear that she would never marry, or so they were willing to ship their only child halfway across the world in order to save her from spinsterhood. So the author is saying that as his elder brother and his wife had selected Mala for him to get married, but therefore he did not show any kind of excitement and any kind of rejection for that, any kind of objection for that. He considered it as his responsibility and this was expected by others from him. And in the last line, he says that Mala's age was 27 and his parents were fearful that whether she will get married or not. Therefore, they get ready to send their daughter on the another continent along with the author. In all marriages, the wives must know how to do all housework. Usually, the Indian women were not working as they were being taught of cooking skills and doing other Indians women should done. Mala was not a working woman. However, she managed to learn a lot of skills that at least makes her able to do something, even though all those could not frame for the fact that she did not have a beauty fair skin like other women had. I was told that she could cook, knit, embroider, sketch landscapes, and recite poems by Tagore. But these talents could not make up for the fact that she did not possess a fair complexion, and so a string of men had rejected her to her face. Here, author wants to clarify that Mala was of 27 years of age. Therefore, many times she has faced the rejection due to her dark complexion. She was talented, although then also she was of dark complexion. Therefore, she got rejection from many people. In marriage session, all women have different ways on how to show the signs that she is married. This culture that being practiced by the Indian women were still being used until nowadays. Usually, we only knew that Indian women would wear sari for their wedding. At the early wedding, they will wear iron bangle on wrist, plus applied vermilion powder to some part of their hair. After a long time, they will have gold bracelets on their arms, put a small red dot painted on the forehead, and have red dye being tinted at the edges of their feet. This shows that the women were married. Some of them tend to lift up the end of their sari to their forehead to cover it. In your book, it is written that, and yet we were bound together for 6 weeks. She had worn an iron bangle on her wrist and applied vermilion powder to the part of her hair to signify to the world that she was a bride. The free end of her sari did not drag on the floor, but was draped in a sign of bridal modesty over her head. Her thin brown arms were stacked with golden bracelets. A small red circle was painted on her forehead, and the edges of her feet were tinted with decorative red dye. So, all these were the symbols that Mala was married. This the author wants to say. Now, students, let's see the norms. Besides that, Indian society are quite synonym with coconut oil and cricket. Cricket is a game played on grass by two teams of 11 players. Cricket has become a popular sport in Bengal region for men. Meanwhile, women are more synonym with coconut oil. They tend to use it when they are going to sleep as it helps to moisturize their hair. However, the smell of this coconut oil makes other people avoid of using it. In this story, the narrator watched cricket games as his routine when he came to England. When he is married, he did not use to the smell of Mala's hair, which being added coconut oil. Therefore, he says, on weekends we long barefoot in drawstring, pajamas, drinking tea and smoking rothmans, or set out to watch cricket at Lord's. I was not used to the fragrance of coconut oil she rubbed every other night into her scalp on the delicate sound her bracelet made as she moved about the apartment. From that, it can be concluded that Indians' culture, mostly similar to Bengalis' culture, proudly, no matter where we are, we should not forget where we have come from. Let us see the lifestyle. Next, the American culture, which totally differ from the Indian culture. From what we can see, the Indian culture still can be practiced even when the American culture dominates the society. In this story, the narrator tried his best to adapt it to the American culture without diminishing his own culture. He also learned that some American culture could also be adapted, such as when Mrs. Croft counseled Helen for wearing inappropriate attire, and when Mrs. Croft told that Helen did something improper with the narrator. I learned that Americans drove on the right side of the road, not the left, and that they called a lift an elevator and an engaged phone busy. In the end, I bought a carton of milk and a box of cornflakes. This was my first meal in America. Even the simple core of buying milk was new to me. In London, we would had bottles delivered each morning to our door. So, the author is sharing his own experience that in America, very usual things were different. So, as for the driving, the Americans used to drive on the right side. In India, we used to drive on the left side of the road. In the same manner, they call the lift an elevator and engaged phone. When we call the engaged phone, they used to call it busy. Okay, and he become used to of all these things gradually. She wore a sleeveless summer dress. It is improper for a lady and gentleman who are not married to one another to hold a private conversation without a cheaper one. She added that it was also improper for a lady of Helen's station to reveal her age and to wear a dress so high above the ankle. Now, let us talk about the religion. From the religion view, ox, which is quite similar with cow, being assumed as god to the Indian society, it was a holy symbol for them. This is why Mala did not have the oxtail soup that being offered when she was on a flight to America to meet her husband. And its evidence is from the line that I told her I had prepared some egg curry at home. What did they give you to eat on the plane? I didn't eat. All the way from Kolkata. The menu said oxtail soup, but surely there were other items. The thought of eating an ox's tail made me lose my appetite. So, here it proves that by even listening to about the oxtail soup, Mala did not had anything in the plate. This is all the lesson. I hope you all liked it. Thank you.